Hello, my name is Sharif Gadrani, also known as Chester Jewell. I'm a retired diplomat, and I'm going to comment on the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, and his speeches about the Iranian sanctions and the nuclear agreement. I'll run an audio clip of the Prime Minister speaking about the recent agreement.
Who share our concern is given the sanctions relief, is given the removal of limitations on its nuclear program without changing its genocidal policies against Israel, its terrorist activities in the region and beyond the region, its commitment to exporting the Islamic revolution throughout the world. If I had to put it in a nutshell, that's our concern. We would have wanted to see a deal that says the following: Iran, you will get the easing on the restrictions of your nuclear program, and you will get sanctions relief if you change your behavior.
Now, Mr. Netanyahu often portrays Iran as an aggression generating country that's threatening the world. Aggressive place that's a threat that needs to be wrestled into compliance, so they change their ways. If we look at the history of aggression, there's a disparity, I believe, in Iran's history and Israel's history. Iran had what? What history? The Iran-Iraq War? Iraq invaded Iran. That's a defensive action. Israel has a history of bloodshed that can go on. I can go on talking about it for hours. Look at the latest Gaza war. Look at the devastation of innocent lives there. Fighting against an enemy that is not nearly as capable of fighting as Israel, with Western weapons and Lockheed Martin Paveway 3s and bunker buster guided missiles that destroy the neighborhoods so they look like the ships of the moon. And they're innocent people with their bodies being blown apart. And so many dead bodies that the morgues don't support the capacity. And the little children in freezers, ice cream machines. And the families have to bury their dead with their hands. And somehow Iran is a problem.
First, in fact, there is.
I also take objection to the Prime Minister's aggressive body language. I think it reveals his personality, and I believe, is coached maybe to control that to some extent. But I call it pugilistic. He's his fists going and grabbing onto things, and his facial expressions are aggressive. His mouth is crooked, slanted off to the side. It's very disturbing that this man somehow gets to the front of the news at times when there are many.
There's no requirement for any change of behavior on the part of Iran, which is what makes this deal so fundamentally flawed.
There are many states with nuclear weapons. I'm not advocating more nuclear weapons. I don't think they should have been constructed in the first place. But they're there, and power imbalance is a problem. If there's a country that can dominate and aggress, they tend to do that, if you look at history. Iran is not as capable as Israel of destroying things. The Palestinians in the West Bank aren't. Hamas in Gaza isn't. The news isn't written, the Western news is written by pro-Israel entities. I followed closely the Third Gaza War. Israel declares a ceasefire, and they run noise drones over the place in the sky to stress the living daylights out of these people as they bury their dead, and the F-16s scream back and forth, and they blow up the power supply and deny it to the power stations. It's heinous, and these are human beings, children, old people, human beings that have these awful devices come raining down on them precision and laser guidance and heat-seeking guidance. And now they're building F-35 wings in Israel.
Would you like to continue?
Let's try and do it upstairs. I think what we've proved is that we don't.
So the Prime Minister talks about a good deal. I mimic his speech. He's this bravado that he has. A good deal. Don't fall for the bad deal. This is a bad deal. I know it. I'm Israel. It's really none of my business. What Iran does. Iran's another country. I'm being, sarcastic. Why is his face so important, Mr. Netanyahu? Why you on the Sunday news when there are fertilizer tubes, one or two, that are thrown over the border initially, and you respond with a genocidal attack? Pretty much. Power imbalance allows that to happen.
We don't need journalists to have a Q&A.
Thank you.
And where are the speeches from the other side? Who listens to Mr. Zarif? Who listens to those people? Do they make it to the Western media? You seek them out, and they're there. Look at the viewership of Sunday news in the United States and Western areas. And what is the threat of Iran? Is it religion? Where's the evidence? There may be some evidence if they're bullied for tens of years and sanctioned and have their currency reduced by a factor of 2 or more, and that people feel this isn't fair. We're trying to be a good country and have industry and progress, and the rest of the world cuts them off with sanctions preemptively with some story that they're a threat. I'm more fearful of Israel's wild use of weapons, reckless use of weapons. And we're supplying F-35, the United States is supplying F-35 wing contracts, and Lockheed Martin is over there in these beautifully pristine facilities with cameras and all types of security. What do they make? They make the most wicked devices that you can think of, and they're getting more and more wicked and more capable. And I used to like, as a child, these fighter planes. They look so neat. They fly so fast. And now I look at them and say, wow, what they can do when they're misused. So shame on you, Benjamin. I don't believe any of it. I think aggressive and reckless. I think there's profits to be made for the weapons industry. And that power balance is a better situation right now. And then over time, maybe all the countries can have some real diplomacy and say, listen, it's just too dangerous to have these devices, even for false alarms. These devices that are much larger, I think, than what took place in Japan. These are existential threats, just having these things, these nuclear devices. And whatever secret devices exist that are more sophisticated, I don't know. So someday, there'll be a world where people say, yes, it's really not worthwhile. It's too dangerous. And we're promising that we're going to take them apart. And we trust each other. And then we'll get to zero nuclear weapons, unilaterally. But to sanction that way, I think is completely inappropriate. That's all for now from Sharif Gudrani, aka Chester Jewel. And I love all of you. I hope that the world does better. And I hope that we move towards peace and love and understanding and tolerance. And I'll find some time to make some more statements. Bye.